Okay, we are doing this interview today, Saoirse, to mainly talk about next week's debate and vote in the Dáil on fox hunting. It has actually been several years since my last interview with your organisation, though, Saoirse. So could you start off by giving me a bit of a summary, please, of who Uplift are and the kind of campaigns in general you work on every year in your job as campaigns director with the organisation?
Sure. So we're an organisation, and we have over 360,000 members across Ireland who take different actions on a whole range of different kind of campaigns. Um, but I suppose we all do it, together in order to kind of advance progressive change in Ireland. So, and we work on campaigns, that can be all the way. We help people run their campaigns on local issues like getting extra pedestrian crosses, getting extra buses, all the way up to um, currently we're taking the government to court over allowing illegal weapons flights through Irish airspace to Gaza. We work on trying to get the government to regulate social media companies and the harmful addictive design and algorithms that are radicalizing people. We work on trade. We work on like animal rights. So health is a big issue with a lot of our members, and we do a lot of work on health. So like just recently there, we did a big submission to the mental health commissions. They were running a consultation on CAMS, which is childhood and young adolescent mental health service. And so we did a massive submission on that. So yeah, we work on a whole range of different things, but really kind of for the staff at Uplift, we work on what our members are interested in, if you get me. So if our members are really interested in, so like, we're working a lot on Gaza. Obviously it's the right thing to do, but because so many people in Ireland want to do something on it. So we're really member guided and member led.
Yeah, and you're the campaigns director, so I imagine you have a busy job, yeah? Do you?
It's busy enough, yeah, and it can go in waves. Like it feels very busy these few weeks. Just a lot of things are coming up in the Dáil, a lot of things are happening. But it's fairly busy. There's always something to do anyway.
Yeah, I will come back to you again as well in the future because, like you're doing great work. Um, like I have come across, I interviewed a lady. I think she's one of the main women who set up the organization several years ago. I met her at an event for refugees. But I'll come back to you again. Just move on to the main reason we're doing this interview. Can you tell me more, Saoirse, specifically as to your and Uplift's involvement in the whole area of trying to ban fox hunting over the years?
Sure. So I suppose it's worth saying this is the first time, as far as I understand, this is the first time that a bill has been brought to the Dáil on banning fox hunting. So Ruth Coppinger, Solidarity TV, has brought forward this bill, and it has gotten through the first stage, even though a few people voted against it, a few independents and also Sinn Féin, which is quite unprecedented because usually like everyone is allowed to table a bill. They were voting against the bill even being tabled, which was unusual. And this bill will now be debated and voted on the 17th of December. And so there's been, like, we've done a lot of work on animal rights over the years, a lot of focus on, for instance, greyhounds, greyhound racing, live animal testing, stuff like that. But we've been really, like, our members have been really engaged and really focused on getting this ban through. And so this ban, there's been a lot of misinformation about it. People are saying this would help farmers, or this ban would, hinder farmers' ability to control fox populations. But it has nothing to do with that. This is solely a ban on dressing up in, well, you can still dress up, I think, but the fox hunts where, like, it's the aristocratic kind of going out with the hounds and the huntsmen and chasing down foxes with packs of dogs. And I wouldn't want to disturb your listeners too much, but it is harrowing if you've ever seen what happens to the fox when the dogs get them. It's an awful death, and it's terribly cruel. And so we just recently got independent polling commissioned by Ireland Thinks, and they polled and they found that across every single region, so this is often being portrayed as like a rural versus urban thing, but across every single region, the vast majority of people want it banned. So that goes from, I have the figures here, that goes from 67% or 76% in Dublin, all the way down to 69% in Munster. People want this to be banned. There's about 10% of don't knows, and then between 12 and 20% of want to keep it. But like across all genders, all age categories, all income levels, all regions, the majority of people want hunting foxes for sport banned. And we also asked a question on, would you say you're in favour or opposed to hunting animals for sport? And 85% of people are opposed to hunting animals for sport. So really, it's a no-brainer, and it's at the moment, Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and Sinn Féin are saying they're going to vote against the ban, which doesn't make a lot of sense. They are saying a lot that it's farmers, but I come from an area that's all sheep farms, and the damage you would do if you ran a pack of 50 dogs through a flock of sheep would be far and above what the damage a fox could do. There's been, open antagonism over the years between farmers and fox hunts because the fox hunting season is now between like November and April, I believe. You have wet fields being destroyed, crops being destroyed, fences and ditches being damaged, and livestock being worried, and of course trespassing. So it's unclear as to why the three big parties are in favour of this. Like, it's not a sport in the majority. Like, it was banned in England 20 years ago, and so a lot of the fox hunting that's done now is like English aristocrats coming over and fox hunting here because they're no longer allowed to do it in England. And so, yeah, we're calling on everyone. Our own members are very involved, but we're calling on everyone, if you think it is wrong to hunt down foxes with packs of dogs, to ring your TDs, call into them, email them, and tell them you'd like them to vote in favour of a ban on fox hunting by next Wednesday.
Yeah, I was looking at the results of your opinion poll as well, and I was struck by, in at least one region, if not more, the majority of people not only are against blood sports, but they said they were strongly against it. That's the case, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. Yeah, like so there's 5 responses. Would you say you're in favour or opposed to hunting animals for sport? And we've strongly opposed, moderately opposed, not sure, moderately in favour, strongly in favour. And you look at that, like across all regions, 62% of people are strongly opposed to blood sports, but only 3% are strongly in favour. So it really makes no sense as to why the three big parties are supporting this.
I'll come back to you a minute on the three big parties, but I only read about it yesterday, but you had an interesting day on Wednesday this week, didn't you, Saoirse, outside the Ardifig of Sinn Féin, didn't you?
We did, yeah. We went, so there's been a petition on the Uplift website started by one of our members that has, I think it's probably 29,000 signatures by now, of people who are calling for a ban on hunting foxes with dogs. And so we decided to deliver it to the Sinn Féin head offices. And we had a banner, we took our photos and everything, but nobody would accept it from us, unfortunately. They closed the door in our face, so we left it for them, and I have no doubt they've seen it. And yeah, we're just trying to get across to them how this proposed ban is supported by people, by tens of thousands of people crossing all types of communities, all types of professions, rural, urban, and that they should really at least allow, what we're calling for is that they would at least not apply the whip. So they would allow TDs to vote with their conscience on it, because it's not an economic matter. It's not a significant policy area in that it's not, it's not housing or health or anything like that. So we are hoping that the big parties will allow, and Sinn Féin will allow, their TDs to vote with their conscience on it. You know, a lot of people, I suppose, are a bit bemused. Like it is a colonial kind of hangover. I was laughing, well, not laughing, but I think that's illustrated very much so by the fact that if you look online at the Irish Masters of Foxhounds Association, they were established in 1845, which kind of gives you an indication as to who this sport is for. And this is not, you know, I know during the presidential election it kept coming up that this was a rural pursuit and tried to make out that this was a rural thing. But this is a very small minority of people who engage with this blood sport. It's strongly linked with the British royals, the British aristocracy, and really there's no place for it, I think, in Ireland anymore.
And just for the benefit of any of our listeners who didn't make the connection, 1845, that's the time approximately when the famine was on, wasn't
it? Yeah. So like this is a sport formed by in Ireland for the landed gentry, really, and it has maintained its kind of colonial aspect.
I don't know about you, Saoirse, but I am not sure who I am to date more shocked by on this issue. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael or Sinn Féin. Because the three of them claim to be Republican parties, you know, some more than others claim that, but I just don't know who I'm more surprised by, you know.
Yeah, same, because so usually you would think, or, you know, they're saying this is for farming, but like you talk to, none of the farm organizations are supporting fox hunting. And if you speak to any farmer, the vast majority of them, I haven't yet spoken to one. I was just in the gym this morning, and everyone there, myself included, either grew up on a sheep farm or still lives on one. And we were all talking about it, and even some people there would shoot foxes for population control. But we're saying that it's just barbaric, the hunting them with dogs, and it's just, you know, who does it even? So I can't quite figure it out, to be quite honest with you, why the three big parties. Obviously they're convinced by the hunting lobby. You know, there's obviously people with a lot of power or money who are supporting this and who are lobbying the government. But the vast majority of us want it banned, and I think really they should really allow their TDs vote freely on this.
And I think it's very possible that the majority of average members of the three main parties would be in favour of banning fox hunting. It's just their leaders who are not allowing a free vote or supporting the bill. Is this the case, do you think, Saoirse?
Well, I don't know, but I have to assume so. You know, if 72% of the population want fox hunting banned, and if 85% of the population are against blood sports, then surely the 3%, for instance, or the 13% in favour of blood sports can't just be Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin members. Like I would assume that of the 85% of people opposed to blood sports, some of them are Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Sinn Féin members. You know, they're the three biggest parties in Ireland. They must have members in that are opposed to it. And hopefully now those members, you know, if we don't win this Wednesday, hopefully those members can force an internal change of party policy, and maybe the next time this comes up, we can finally get rid of this blood sport.
Yeah, I'll personally be very disappointed if any of the three leaders apply the whip and don't let their TDs vote on the issue. And I hope that, like, if it does happen that if the bill fails on Wednesday, I hope that the three party leaders and the three parties in general don't forget about the issue and they get reminded of it, you know.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, so everyone listening, get in contact with your TDs about it. We have until Wednesday to change their minds.